Ever wondered how to bake the perfect chocolate chip cookies? Well, you're in the right place. Today, we're diving into the art of creating these classic mouth-watering delights from scratch. Follow along as we break down the process into simple, easy-to-follow steps. What do we need to start our cookie adventure? To whip up around 2 dozen scrumptious chocolate chip cookies, you'll require the following ingredients: 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, half a teaspoon of salt, 1 cup of softened unsalted butter, 3/4 of a cup each of granulated sugar and packed brown sugar, 2 large eggs, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 2 cups of chocolate chips, and if you're feeling nutty, 1 cup of chopped nuts. Now that we have everything we need, let's move on to the fun part. Ready to create some cookie magic? Let's go! The first thing you'll want to do is preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. While that's heating up, grab a baking sheet and line it with parchment paper. This will ensure our cookies don't stick and are easy to remove once baked. Next up, we're going to mix our dry ingredients. In a medium bowl, whisk together 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and a half teaspoon of salt. Once they're all combined, set the bowl aside for later. Now let's cream the butter and sugars. In a large mixing bowl, beat together 1 cup of softened unsalted butter, 3/4 of a cup each of granulated and packed brown sugar. You'll want to beat these until they're light and fluffy, which should take about 2 to 3 minutes. Time to add the eggs and vanilla. Crack in the eggs one at a time, mixing well after each addition. Then stir in 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Now it's time to bring the wet and dry ingredients together. Gradually add your dry ingredients into the wet, mixing only until combined. Be careful not to overmix here. We don't want dense cookies. And finally, the star of the show, the chocolate chips. Using a spatula, fold in 2 cups of chocolate chips. If you're feeling nutty, you can add a cup of chopped nuts too. With the dough ready, we're just a few steps away from enjoying our delicious cookies. Now comes the moment of truth, baking our cookies. Start by scooping the dough onto your prepared baking sheet, leaving room for the cookies to spread. Pop them in your preheated oven and let the magic happen. After about 10 to 12 minutes, when the edges are golden brown but the centers are still soft, your cookies are done. Allow them to cool on the baking sheet for 5 minutes, then transfer to a wire rack. And voila! You've just baked perfect chocolate chip cookies. Let's quickly recap the journey we've just been on. We've whisked dry ingredients, creamed butter and sugars, added eggs and vanilla, combined all, folded in chocolate chips, shaped and baked. Now you know how to make perfect chocolate chip cookies. Happy baking?